and they just come along. Wasn't really necessary. Wasn't their title to win because Klopp had just left. Legend leaves. We've all seen, Ferguson, obviously different degrees of success. Mourinho, Wenger. It's a very difficult act to follow when a club is that united with their manager, and he's literally the embodiment of the city. And this bald Dutch guy, everybody thought it was Ten Hag the second, just comes in, no new players, no money spent, just wins the league at a canter.
Yeah.
It's nasty work.
There was never a title race.
You have to applaud it.
There was never a title race.
Never a race. I said that in December. There doesn't have to be a race.
It's never been a race. And even when you're speaking about some of the players, like I know sometimes Liverpool fans have maybe, I don't know, criticised FSG for lack of investment or, this, that and the third. But the signings that you have made, I know there's always more you can do. You want to be elite in it, so you want to keep going. But the signings that you have made have got you through a transition period with Klopp and still left you with enough there for somebody to take the reins who has that spark, has that energy, because Klopp was saying, I just didn't have it in me to go again. He's left you with more than enough to have a championship winning team. And the thing that I've had to really say, if I'm honest, which, listen, I don't want to be out here saying all this, but this is their day. The narrative that Liverpool are lucky.
No.
It needs addressing.
What narrative is that?
There's a big one, Abby. There's a big one that
amongst
City.
Fans?
No, just the league. Because remember, the league's been rubbish this year.
Yeah.
David Coote was, that I'd give Liverpool and all of this stuff. And listen, I've been on that wagon during the season because I don't like Liverpool. But when it's all said and done and the confetti's on the floor now, they're not lucky. What people have tried to do is attribute their own club's problems with Liverpool. Oh, well, if we got that striker, then Liverpool would have. You didn't. Oh, well, if after Julian Alvarez went, City should have got. They didn't. Oh, Saka got injured, so that means that it's not. None of these things are Liverpool's problems. They've been the most consistent team from match day 1 to match day 33. Is it now 34?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was yesterday.
They're on target for
match
90.
day 34.
90 plus.
I looked at the points. There's 12 more points up for grabs, so they can be getting top
94
points.
Is the max.
You can get 94 points. Who knows whether you'll be on the beach or not? You don't really care, but you can set some big things. And also, I saw them without Alisson, who we're saying is one of the best keepers ever in the league. I saw them without Konate for a period. I saw them without Trent for a bit. And then they had some inconsistencies up front with the likes of Jota in and out of the team. Nunes is a bit of a wally, but he even that Brentford game. And then I've seen them have the clutch games. I've seen them have 10 men against Fulham. Gonna lose this one. No, they didn't. I've seen them stupidly losing against Southampton, come back win. Brentford, come back win. I've seen them dig in. So you've seen all the hallmarks of champions. Yeah. You've seen difference makers. You've seen them nick games by 1-0. You've seen them smash teams. You've seen them play on the front foot. You've seen them contain. You've seen them score set pieces. You've seen it all. So this luck thing, it ain't luck.
I think
it's just brilliant.
I think you create your own luck. And if you look at your summer window with just bringing in one player, I think you said it before that Klopp obviously left them in a position where, okay, he didn't have it in him, but it was just small, tiny tweaks that needed to be made to go on and do that and achieve what you've achieved. And there's been times where we've said, okay, if they get through this next patch of games, then we'll see if they're real title contenders. Everything you've faced this season, you've come out smelling of roses with it. And I think you've got to give so much credit to the players, so much credit to Arne Slot and the coaching staff. And like Flex said, it doesn't really matter what's been going on at Arsenal or whoever else was in a tiny little short title race. You've been the best team. And even those games where you haven't played well at times, the true sign of a champion or a championship winning team is grinding out the results and getting over the line, even when you haven't been at your best. And there's been quite a few of those games this season, I think you'll even admit. So, look, I'm happy from my standpoint. I'm fine with it. And I think you are well deserved. I don't think there is any thing of luck in this. I'm not. Well, look, if the alternative was... If it had to be one team in red, then that's the team I'm fine with.
Yeah. The alternative was a disaster, but I'm still not happy. I wouldn't say happy.
I'm not happy with this at all. Well, I'm just doing what's right. I brought my contract. This is my DR contract. I had a read of what's in there earlier on, and I'm basically all I'm doing today is what I'm contractually obliged to do. So
you had to check.
I had to check. So you got to check the small print because I've got a job to do. I've got to be unbiased at times. So this is not going to last long. But I can't do that bit. It didn't say in the contract I must express gratitude and happiness that this has happened. It says I must talk objectively about what happened
and break it down.
So that's what I will do. But I do not share Abby's sentiment of she's happy with this. I understand why you are.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm sure you guys can understand
the alternative
why I'm
option
not.
was not going to make me very happy, was it? So I'm happy with it.
3-1 at half time. Cody Gakpo, that's his 17th goal of the season. Luis Diaz got 17 now as well. Second half starts. Mo Salah's goal typifies his favourite kind of goal, right? Cutting inside, drilling it back across the keeper. There was the own goal at the end as well. But when I say the party atmosphere, the flares were going off. You could see fireworks before the game even started. And Arne Slot, when he got the mic at the end, the whole stadium went quiet, and we wanted to hear what the big fella said, because in terms of emotion, we got that every game with Klopp, right? Fist pumps to that. We got that every game. So we've been waiting as fans, because he's so measured and he won't do anything before it's time.
He don't actually express himself that much.
But we were like, come on,
Dutch.
Let your hair down. He hasn't got any hair, but let your hair down. Right? He got the mic and he went, look, I've got to say this. He sung my name when I joined the club, so I've got to sing his name. And the whole stadium sung Jurgen Klopp. And wherever he was watching that from, I can imagine the tears were streaming down his face. And like I said, when I came out the stadium, songs were playing, party vibes, people on roofs, climbing up on the fences and the gates. Honestly, I know I was talking to you about this before. I know we've won the league 5 years ago, but someone my age of 31 versus someone who's even 60, who might have been 20 at the time when we won the last title and they had a drink they could celebrate. Maybe this is their first time. It's my first time. It's a 7-year-old's first time in terms of seeing it with our own eyes. The referee blows the whistle and you're champions in your home stadium. So thank God my mum is a Scouser. I have to thank my lucky stars every day, otherwise I'll be supporting this mob. And we all know how that ends up, don't we? But anyway, listen, I love the respect that all of you guys have shown. Any final words before we move on?
Well, big up the women.
Here we go.
I watched Arsenal women's yesterday, and they were absolutely amazing, man. Through to the final of Champions League. Well done. No, actually, I was actually cutting between the two, because honestly, I was watching Arsenal women yesterday. They were absolutely incredible. But yeah, listen, I've got to big up Liverpool. They won it easy. They deserved it. Like Flex said, no excuses about, I'm peed off with Arsenal because I just thought in January, give it a go. Not that you're going to win it, because Liverpool were the favourites, but I was really, really angry that the board didn't give it a go. They didn't give the manager any chance, I thought, to have a go at it, but that's our problem. But Liverpool, even if we had given it a go, they still only lost one game. Right? You know what I mean? They've been brilliant. They've been... but one game from January.
Yeah.
So they've been brilliant. They deserve to win it. They've been the best team by far. The points tally shows that. And when everybody... Because I've had arguments with people where they're saying, the league's crap this year. No, everybody else has been crap. Liverpool's standards have still been very high.
Exactly.
And I think you've got to big up Arne Slot. I didn't expect him to do this in his first season. He came over with a good reputation for what he did at Feyenoord. But to come and do that in your first season, I don't think you can, underestimate how difficult that must be. You're stepping into a changing room of big names and big egos. Salah, Van Dijk, Trent Alexander. These are guys, they've won it. And then you're coming in, they've been under Klopp. And a lot of them are probably looking, what's this guy
Let's see
got?
how we get on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Before we sign a deal, let's see how we do this.
That's why them two have stayed.
Yeah, and they're they're thinking, what's he got, man? This ain't the Dutch league. And plus as well with what happened with Ten Hag and that. They're probably, for him to get all those players on side, get those performances out of them week in, week out, with a different style as well to what Klopp played. I swear, we underestimate how well a job he did. That's manager of the year easily.
Do you know what else?
He did inherit a great side.
He did.
But to come in, that's a tough...
Of course.
You're walking through the door, you're not even it's not even like you're walking through the door with a big rep from somewhere else, like you're one of the big, like when, I don't know, Mourinho or something like that comes
I'm
in.
the
You're
special
like,
one.
Yeah, you're coming in and these players are looking and thinking, who are you?
Well, you've had to prove himself.
Honestly,
He was humble. He was humble the whole time, and the way he dealt with the big players. When Mo Salah, when I really knew about him was when Mo Salah and that, he's putting out a couple pictures it's like he had this acceptance, which was the right thing to do, of I know like players shouldn't be bigger than the manager and stuff, but he had this acceptance of like, these guys, like Mo Salah's a bit, I'm not tackling that. As long as he's performing for me, what he does off the pitch, who he speaks to in the media, as long as it doesn't overstep the line, I'm staying away. Trent, I'm staying away. Van Dijk, these are big guys, and he just kept them locked in and singing. But I was going to say that
perfectly
also
managed.
now, like this is with no money. This is with no money
It's just
spent.
the start, you know.
So now, what happens if Newcastle fans? This is just it's just a flippant comment, but if they try and go aggressively after Isak, or they try and go aggressively after Gyökeres or Sesko or whoever the next one's going to be,
because they didn't spend no money.
Because they didn't spend no money, they go aggressively after, I don't know.
And there's positions to
Frimpong from
improve.
Leverkusen
And we need to make changes.
because you still got freshness and stuff. You need to buy
The
players.
whole
to go
left
again.
side could get
Do you see what I'm saying? Robertson's on his way out now. Trent's obviously going to go. So what happens now when they put their foot on the necks of the transfer market as Premier League champions? Slot's got some pedigree in this country now. You've retained the services of Mo Salah and Van Dijk. What happens then?
But this is why you have to thank God for FSG, because there's a cap. They
Are
won't
you sure though?
They won't go crazy.
Are you sure?
No, but they didn't spend nothing.
I know,
Yeah.
but FSG they're always gonna be within means. They're always gonna be managed.
Make sure you
though, really.
Yeah, listen, credit
still
to
brings
them
them
because it's
success.
still bringing them success.
So, yeah.
They're doing it the
doing it the
right
right
way
way.
in terms of they're not getting any FFP, any issues. They're not overdoing it with the wage budget, and they've always been very sensible, right? They're very sensible. So they're going to continue to be sensible because that's how they operate. It just means that you can still see them. Because if they didn't have sensible and they had, I don't know, Newcastle's owners, but they didn't have the PSR, hoy.
You know
what I mean? So
one final thing I just want to say on it as well. You've got to big up Klopp. Because I think that was a masterstroke when he came in and he did that thing when he was leaving and he did.
I was there, mate.
Arne Slot, and all that, right? He could have been bad mind with it.
Yeah.
And just walked out the door and he didn't.
Shows how much he loves Liverpool.
Yeah, made the transition so much easier.
Yeah, he made the transition easier for him. I think, probably behind the scenes as well, he helped a lot in, you know what I mean? So even though, all right, the fans didn't get to see him win it like that, but I think what he did at that moment, that was big. And not everybody would have done that. Let's be real.
I've never seen
There's a lot of
anything like that
managers.
before.
most wouldn't.
No.
A lot of managers would
Yeah, it's about me. This is my last day. I'm a legend.
I want it about
Ferguson gave Moyes the little cosign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he said get
Yeah, he
behind
did,
him
I
and
guess
that.
so. Yeah,
but
Fergie
to
did
sing the
kinda
song
do
like
it.
the way he
And
did
I'll be
it.
honest, when Klopp did that, because I was in the ground that day, he went,
felt from the
Arne
heart.
Slot, and we were like,
had no affiliation
Arne
to it at that
Slot,
time,
we don't
did
know
you?
this guy, but
Yeah.
we'll sing it because Klopp's telling us to.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, when he spun it back to Jurgen,
Full circle.
Yeah, full
Did you
circle
see when
moment.
Salah said that bit as well? When he goes, I said to Slot,
yes,
like, don't let me, like, allow me to not defend,
Yes.
and I will produce the goods.
Yes.
And again, I know it's easy to say, well, of course it is, Mo Salah, but still, if you're coming in with a new style, for someone like Slot, like managing the big egos, this is what I'm saying about the humbleness and kind of knowing his position to be like, I'm going to listen to that advice.
And let you do you. Yeah.
I'm going to, like, this is the best player in the league, so how do I consistently
It's called
unlock
management,
him?
isn't it?
It's called proper
called
management.
management.
Yeah.
With that info, this is why Szoboszlai is so key. Because you can't play a free-loving Salah up front who's not going to get back like he maybe used to. He's going to try and reserve himself. He's getting older. Trent, who defensively needs that little bit of help, without someone like Szoboszlai in that midfield. For all of the jokes, for all of the, this guy's 70 mil. The guy's an engine. Yeah. Brings balance to the team.
And actually, all
It's
of
a bit of
Liverpool's
substance
been-
with the
way
style. So.
McAllister
Whole
gets
midfield.
about the pitch, the way Gravenberch
Yeah.
gets about the pitch.
and then Curtis comes on hard.
Curtis
comes
Jones
on
can
Endo.
do it. Even Endo from last year. When I talk about
Bro,
like
Endo.
that bit
He
of that
loves it,
transition, I
love
remember.
that
I
man so
remember
much.
doing a hold that myself. I remember at the beginning of last season laughing at Liverpool's rebrand because I was like, look at them, they got a bunch of tens
Got all
in
three
midfield.
as well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you
Same summer.
and I went, that's not going to be the right balance. That's not going to be enough. I know Gravenberch needed time, so look at him now. Szoboszlai got the time. He's a 10, yeah, what's he going to do? So I think the way that he's managed that engine room, like you said, Matisse, like, yeah.
And also, you don't have the deepest squad either. Like you've kind of used pretty much the same 15 players, interchanging them alongside the injuries as well. And it's just been tiny little things that have been changed. But I would love to see, like, if next season you're maintaining it, because I want to see obviously what Arsenal do as well next season. What Chelsea.
Love.
Listen, I think if
What
he
Chelsea
wins,
do.
Strong words.
if
No,
he
but
wins the league
I
again
want to see it. I want to
next
see a
year.
proper
My
title
little-
race. I
my
want to
little
see.
drop-off.
I want to see. I want to see. I think we said this last week. I want to see a title race. I want to see
I hear
you
that.
put under pressure because there hasn't really been any pressure.
Yeah, there hasn't. But listen, we've done it. Champion of France as well. So
What about champions of France?
I'm just listening to all of you guys, and then I'm celebrating by procuration because we did manage to kick out the best team in England from the Champions League. So
Tell them.
You got another one for us.
All of you. We need to have a serious
second
chat.
best team.
We need to have a chat. We need to have a
Kick out the
serious
next one now.
chat.
Come on,
well
man.
done on the night. We spoke after
Kick
the game.
out the next one, man.